What's good, y'all? I'm the Psychedelic Seal and welcome to the channel. Gameplay channel where I'm going to be doing challenges or playthroughs of whatever I might be playing. Recently, I've been binging a lot of different Pokemon challenge videos, mostly from YouTubers like My Dry Bread, JRose11, and Tion. So I did a couple in my spare time, really enjoyed it, and wanted to throw what I got your way. In this episode, I'm going to see if I can get one of my favorite Gen 2 Pokemon, Houndour, to solo complete Pokemon Gold. Houndour is a devil dog with great special attack for a first form and a more than serviceable speed and attack stat. With all of this, it naturally learns both Crunch and Flamethrower for stab moves and has access to TMs like Solar Beam, Sludge Bomb, and a Rest Sleep Top combo. So like every other dude that does this type of challenge, I am setting up additional arbitrary rules to make this run even more difficult, but also way more fun. So obviously I can only use Houndour in battle and he ain't ever evolving in the run. I can use other Pokemon for HMs though. We aren't going to use any items in battle, but held items like leftovers or berries are fine. And no glitches or exploits other than using the Universal Pokemon Randomizer to sub out Cyndaquil for Houndour as our starter. I awake in my room in New Barktown and head downstairs to get the Poke Gear from my mother before heading over to Professor Elm's lab to receive our starter. Thankfully, I get a promising Pooch first try and name him Red. Playing Elm's errand boy, I head to Mr. Pokemon's house, and there I meet the Silver Fox, Professor Oak, before having to head back to New Barktown. On the way, I run into Gerard Way circa 2011 and battle his Totodile. Ember only chips away at his health, but Red gets a burn and a berry heal gets the victory. After learning Roar, Red and I make it to Violet City and make a beeline for the gym, only to get promptly bent over by a Spearow. Well, shit. On to Sprout Tower then. After smoking some sage, we get through the gym's trainers with no issue and face Faulkner. Because planning is not my forte, I forgot to give a berry to Red and they got mud-slapped until I can't hit the broadside of a barn, and then get crit by Pidgeotto. Take 2, it ain't no thing. On my way out of town, I receive an egg, so I may play Mama Bird as my Hellhound burns Johto. So, apparently at night, my emulator favors a minty seafoam green. I hate that I love it. We're rolling with it. While going through Union Cave and dealing with an Onix, Red learned Smog, another move we will probably never use. I made it to Azalea Town and saw that Team Rocket made a wet market out of Slowpoke Well. We quickly dispatched them since we are slightly over-leveled, but that'll catch up to us soon. Unsurprisingly, Bugsy the gym leader experienced Fire and Brimstone, 2 badges down. As it has been a while since I played through Gold or Silver, I forgot about the following rival battle when heading into Elix Forest. Despite actually using Smog and nailing the poison, his Croconaw ends us with a water gun and rage. We try again and get no further. We just don't have an attack that does enough damage to his Croconaw before he ends us with a couple water guns. So, it's time to grind for the first time, just a few levels until we get Bite at level 20. Now this does suck because nothing can give us more than 90 or so experience. However, I did skip this trainer right before Azalea Town and he presents a problem. He has a Geodude and a Machop, 3 of the 4 types we suck against, and I could not win this fight until I could one-shot the Machop with Ember. So Bruno in the Elite Four might prove to be a pain in the ass, but since most fighting and rock Pokemon have low special, I'm thinking that by that time we will have enough moves and be level enough to where it won't be an issue, but we'll see. Nonetheless, with Bite, the rival fight was no issue, even while Croconaw hit me with a crit. As I stepped away from the game after beating the rival, I remember the Milk Tank in the upcoming gym has Rollout, and more specifically that Rollout is a rock type move, and it may just fucking end me. So I'm hoping we won't have to go into silly grinding amounts just to tank enough hits to move on. Also, I fixed my game's visuals. You are welcome. I too am welcome. When in the Elix Forest, I had Farfetch'd cornered and the bastard leapt like an Olympic hurdler and royally pissed me off. It continued to piss me off for a few more minutes before I remembered I'm supposed to return it to its owner, not corner it like a scared chicken at 4 PM. For my time, I received HM Cut and followed the boy back to his home. He gifted me with a Charcoal boosting fire type move, something that should come in handy later on. Soon after, my egg broke and a Togepi emerged. My time as a mama bird was done, and I swiftly sent it to the farm upstate. I caught an oddish and named it Flut. Flut used cut, and I was allowed to progress. On the way to Whitney, I fought every trainer I could find for extra experience and kicked some lass. However, the tables were turned. After a perfect fight with Clefairy, I got destroyed by Rollout. Milk Tank outspeeds Red, and Red can't survive more than 2 hits. I'm gonna have to grind until I can outspeed the cow. After defeating all the trainers north of Goldenrod, Red reached level 25. After the leveling, he outspeeds the Milk Tank, but we do have to reset once before we get the battle we're looking for. Red flinches at the Clefairy and knocks it out, then gets the damage range needed to 2-shot tip the bovine. Afterwards, I squirted on a tree and it moved to my surprise, so naturally I bit it to death. When in Ecruteak, I headed for Morty's gem, knowing the ghost type would be easy experience before I went on to take on the Kimono Girls and the Burn Tower. I learned Feint Attack and replaced Leer since it wasn't doing anything anyways. I sent it, with less than full HP, and yeah, it was nothing to worry about. His Gengar did outspeed me, but his Shadow Balls couldn't do much. Zip zap zop, Fog Badge is got. I headed to the dance studio and beat 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 Kimono Girls, and the old man liked the way I moved so much, he gave me the HM for Surf. For the last of the events in Ecruteak, the rival battle in the Burned Tower was really no issue. A crit water gun from his Croconaw didn't even bring me to half health. I feel strangely confident in my little hellhound at this moment. I cannot wait for that statement to bite me in the ass. We made our way to Olivine City and ran into Gerard. Silver. Whatever the hell I named him. I went into a random house and met a sailor. He gave me strength. A true inspiration. I caught a Krabby, named it Old Bay, and taught it to surf. We sailed the mighty seas and made it to Cyanwood. While there, I got the secret potion for the sheep from a man who looks fond of alternative medicine. Careful, he says, it is quite strong. Take half and wait 45 minutes. I went into the gym filled with confidence and got drop-kicked into oblivion. I tried again, expecting a different, more favorable result. I was disappointed. I tried yet again and got the burn, dropping his attack. Then the bastard hit me with a crit. Yet again, I got a burn on the next try and survived a single attack this time, but the result was the same. Thankfully, I have the power of cheese, and taught Red swagger. It worked like a charm, flawless, after 2 failed attempts. The Hitmonlee showed us his flexibility and kicked himself in the face twice. I was bamboozled by his friend, but he just used Ice Punch, and only succeeded in nothing. The next dude was a knob, and refused to hit himself in confusion. When he finally did, he did not do as much damage as I thought he would, and I felt part of me pucker, knowing this is gonna take some luck. On cue, Red crit, and I can move forward to the next circle of his hell. But it must have been Groundhog Day, because the next trainer presented the same issue. His primate was a naughty monkey, but he eventually did hit himself enough so I can face Chuck. Knowing I would have to dig deep within myself to harvest the cheese, I opened the fight by confusing his primate who hit himself as to plan. For some reason, I went for a bite instead of Ember, probably hoping for a flinch, but he hit himself in confusion again, so next is Poliwrath. It and Red traded missed attacks before Red showed his swagger again, causing the Poliwrath to hit itself. After a crit bite and more confusion luck, Red gets it down to a sliver, but it breaks through confusion and flubs the dynamic punch, meaning one more bite and we got the Storm Badge. The cheese is tasty. On our way back to heal the sheep, Red learned Flamethrower, which is going to be the go-to fire move for the rest of the game. I gave Amphi his special medicine and Jasmine immediately left despite the doctor's specific instructions. Let's hope Amphi can handle his shit. To let her know that the shocked sheep may soon be counting sheep, we battled her, and with the newly acquired Flamethrower, we melted her pets like Yankee candles in a forest fire. I headed east and arrived in Mahogany Town, bought a temperamental snack, and went on a forced vacation to the Lake of Rage. There I saw a Gyarados that sparkled majestically before I ended him. I met Lance and followed him back to Mahogany Town, where I saw him harass a shop owner so intensely it made the game itself scared for a moment. The secret Team Rocket base devolved into button mashing since everyone here is underleveled. I needed 2 passwords to continue. I beat Not Jesse and a man who transformed into Goofy when I defeated him. I ran into the rival who continues to be a prick and defeated a fancy executive and met a plot bird that allowed us to continue. After defeating another exec and 3 innocent Electra, Lance gave us Whirlpool and the city's gym is finally open. I slipped and slid my way right to Price, committed fratricide, and beat the old man down. As we left, Elm called us to let us know that we again have to deal with Team Rocket before we continue. To get to Goldenrod quicker, I picked up a Pidgeotto and named it United. Once in Goldenrod, we clear out the first part of the radio tower with no issue. Now, the 8 o'clock DJ can play his classic rock hour, which is 90% Pink Floyd and Grateful Dead, fucking again. Going down to the underground, I ran into our rival and he went all Lannister on me. Unsurprisingly, he was easily managed. Making my way through the tunnels, Red learned Crunch at level 43, and like that we have our 2 main moves. These should carry us through most of the game, and we have some flexibility for the last 2 slots if we need it. Also, quick side note, I think Gen 2 has some of my favorite battle animations in the entire series. Moves like Flamethrower have that Gen 1 feel to them still, and the Crunch animation is best here over any later one. We ran into Goofy again, got the key card, and headed back to the radio tower to clear out the rest of the rockets. After Red showing that there can only be one, twice, Team Rocket showed the resilience of a jellyfish in a blender and disappeared. Before flying back to Mahogany Town, we pick up the TM for Sunny Day for that potential solar beam combo. After sliding through the ice path, no one in the Blackthorn City gym poses a problem as we get to Claire. We are right outside the range where we can one-shot her Dragonair and get paralyzed on the first attempt. A surf from both her Dragonair and Kingdra knocks us out. Second round, no paralysis, but we can't one-shot Kingdra either, even with a crit crunch. Third time, we break out the cheese on Kingdra. We go for Swagger and it hits itself in confusion, and we bring it down to about a quarter health, but a Hyper Beam ends us. A couple attempts later and we get to Kingdra with full health, but it smoke screens us. We go for Feint Attack instead of Crunch since it can't miss, and we tank a Surf. But she heals up with a Hyper Potion and we go down to another Surf. I can probably beat this fight with what I got, but the black glasses which raise the power of Dark type moves are just a short journey away, so I go pick those up. First try after and we get a crit on the opening Dragonair, one-shotting it. The Kingdra goes for Smokescreen again, and I'm feeling pretty choice at this point. But again, even with sunglasses, we can't one-shot the other Dragonairs, get paralyzed, and bring the final one down to red health and die from a slam. But the next attempt goes bonkers. Red crits the opening Dragonair, taking it out. Then hits another crit on the Kingdra, bringing it down to heal range. It smokescreens us, so we go for Feint Attack, hitting another crit, so we can take it out the next turn. Since I already know Crunch won't one-shot, I stick with Feint Attack to guarantee the hit, while the second Dragonair misses Thunder Wave, which probably would have ended the fight. It goes down in another hit, and the final Dragonair does paralyze us, but misses Slam, allowing Red to sweep with no damage taken. Understandably, Claire is kinda pissed off, and wants me to go get a Fang to show we are the real deal. So, we go do that. And she is still not a great human, but we fuck right off to New Bark Town so we can go towards the Elite Four. Very quickly, I realize Old Bay cannot learn Waterfall, so I use way too many Pokeballs to catch a Goldeen named Unifish. On the way to the Indigo Plateau, I battle every trainer I see, knowing that Bruno and Lance may present some brick walls. We do have one last rival battle, and it was nothing special. The one Pokemon I would be afraid of just used Rage, and I one-shot everything else with either Flamethrower or Crunch. Right before the Elite Four, we are at level 51, and Red's stats are looking pretty solid, except his defense is piss poor. I'm keeping the moveset we have, since getting Return or Solar Beam won't really help as much as a Feint Attack that won't miss or Swagger's Cheese. Our first attempt of the Elite Four shows that Will is chill and Koga ain't shit, but Bruno was always going to be the real challenge. First go was pretty good. We one-shot the top, bring the lead down to Red before a jump kicks off the cliff. The Chan brings us down to 5 health before Red can take it out, but we do one-shot the Onix with Crunch. We break out the Cheese, and Machamp hits itself in confusion while Red lands a crit Flamethrower, but it ain't happening this time and he chops our Cheese. Red and I keep going through the Elite Four to level, but all of Bruno's Pokemon are within damage ranges, so we have to get pretty great luck to even get to the Machamp and then rely on Swagger for even a chance. Red levels to 60 and comes through in the clutch, burning them all to get to Machamp. And through that deli quality cheese, we take down that Machamp with a confusion hit and another critical flamethrower. Still in shock that I won, I took on Karen without using an ether, so my para points on flamethrower were pretty low, making the battle last a little longer than it should. I tried to get seconds on the cheese for her Houndour, but Karma is a whore, and she used a max potion to heal it. But Red again showed there can only be one. Red hits level 61, and him and I got one more dude to go, and it's gonna suck. Straight up, we aren't beating Lance at this level. With Swagger luck, we can get down to his second to last Pokemon, but his Aerodactyl getting off a Rock Slide early in the fight means we never have a chance to take another hit. So that means our luck has to be perfect with Swagger and crits and damage ranges and all that shit. So Red and I go through the Elite Four one more time to level up to 63, and Red's going to level up to 64 during the Lance fight. Also, might be in this fight, I turned off battle animations when going through the Elite Four again and forgot to turn them back on because honestly I expected to have to run through the four at least one more time. But holy shit, Red hosted a clinic. First go at this level, Red kills the Gyarados with 2 crunches while it sets up a rain dance. He still can't take down the Aerodactyl with 1 crunch, so it takes us down to about a quarter health with the Rock Slide. At this point I have no hope in this go and basically just keep going to get extra experience. Red does take it out and this is where it gets real dumb. Dragonite 1. Swagger. Hits itself twice. Cool. Dragonite 2. Swagger. Hits itself. Damage range to kill it. Charizard. Swagger. Hits itself. Oh, look at that, last one. Dragonite Trace. Swagger. Hits itself. Crunch brings it down to a goddamn dot of health. It breaks through the confusion to hit Outrage, and I know that's the closest I'ma get at this level. I finish my drink, knowing I got some time to grind ahead of me. But my dog here tanks it with 2 health, then finishes off the last of the Dragonites, and he is the champion. Let's do some quick maths. We hit 4 Swaggers without missing. Each one of those is 85% chance. Then 5 confusion hits at 50% each. That alone is just 1.6%. Not including damage ranges for the 2 attacks that did hit, or the fact that his Gyarados could have drowned Red with a Surf, or any of the damage ranges that I got. Basically, shouldn't have happened. But upon this unlikely victory, we are transported back home through the power of Red's Ruby Slipper. Elm gives us the SS Sand ticket so we can take on Kanto. A quick united flight to Olivine, and we board the vessel and are instantly told by an old man that he has lost his granddaughter. After playing the foreman on some sailors, I found the girl in the captain's private quarters. I whisked her away from this swarthy salt bitch and arrived in Vermilion City. After some exploring, I went to Celadon to take on Erica and saw the old man outside the gym still has not died, probably thanks to rheumatic hormones. Despite completely forgetting the radio and Goldenrod and a quick side trek, we defeated all of the gym leaders in Kanto except for Blue. All of their Pokemon except Misty's Lapras went down in 1 hit, so mostly just a chore to get to the last 2 major trainers. We go into the final Kanto gym leader at level 69. Yes. First go, we knock out Pidgeot and Rhydon before getting Death Starred by Gyarados. Second attempt, we are down to the 2 Pokemon we are super effective against, and Executor refuses to die. Then in every following go, Red played the role of Haiti, as Earthquake would destroy us every time. After about 15 minutes, we kill Big Bird, cheese the Rock Rhinoceros with Swagger and Crunch, and Gyarados dances in the rain. The other Fire Dog takes Red down to about a third of his health before going down himself, but Alakazam and the mini-face Palm Tree both go down with 1 hit this time. We only have 1 trainer left and Red needs to take on Red. So meta. At only level 70, we are under-leveled for this, and my first series of battles with him went about as you'd expect. Most of the time, his Blastoise will just one-shot Red with Surf. Thanks to some Swagger luck, we did get all the way to his Blastoise, but there's no way this is happening. With our strongest move, we barely do a quarter health, and his Body Slam can take us out from about half health. Without some crazy confusion luck, we don't stand a chance in this fight, and to be honest, I don't feel like cheesing this fight as well. so we may have a slightly better chance. I go around both regions farming rare candies, getting the TM for Solar Beam, and dumpster diving for the leftovers. We teach Red the Solar Beam Sunny Day combo to try to consistently deal with Blastoise. We level up to 75 and take on Red one more time. While Solar Beam makes the Blastoise battle more consistent, we aren't going to survive more than one of Snorlax's body slams and need to find a way to two-shot it. So, at level 80, Red does bring the Snorlax down to half health after a Sunny Day boosted Flamethrower, but it uses Body Slam, paralyzes Red, and finishes him off the next turn. The next fight, we set up a Sunny Day while Pikachu Tiger Kings us with Charm. One Flamethrower knocks it out. Red Solar Beams the Blastoise to a sliver, only for him to dance if he wants to while he leaves his friends behind. Since Espeon can't do much to Red, I set up another Sunny Day to boost Flamethrower and one Crunch knocks it out. Snorlax sets up an Amnesia to boost his special defense as Flamethrower brings it to half health. Red, with perfect timing, hits a crit to get to the Charizard. His Flamethrower and Wing Attack do a pretty good amount of damage, but he never heals, so the Venusaur is the only one left. And thank God, it goes to plan. We kill it with one shot, and Red has run through Pokemon Gold all by his lonesome. Sure, we got some cheese throughout the run, but that final battle actually used some strategy. Red's move pool and solid stats made this challenge a lot of fun, and there really wasn't too much grinding. I definitely plan on making more of these challenge videos in the future. I have a few Pokemon ones I do want to run through, a couple Fire Emblem ones that have been in the back of my mind for a while, and I might throw on some sim racing content as that is basically what my free time looks like right now. If y'all are interested in any of that, or if you have ideas for other challenges or games, drop a comment down below. Down in the description you can find the links to all the music that was played in this video. Go support the artist if you liked it. I am the Psychedelic Seal, and I will see you cuties next time.